Thanks a lot. I'm also very excited to be here. Flew in after 12 hours of long flight in India. That's fun. Okay. So what I'm going to talk about today is, please come. Okay. Understanding the limit of computation. Okay. How many of you know word computation? Excellent. Right. So I'm going to talk about that kind of computation. How many of you have written programs in your life? See, all of you. So that makes my life even more easier. Okay. So there will be terms. I'm from CMI, so I'm used to throwing jargons. So I will throw some jargons. Okay. But hopefully there will be as few as possible. And I will try to give you a picture of things that is happening in the world of computation. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so it's a fun talk. So you have to sit back, relax, as they say in the flights. No, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. So enjoy the journey. It's going to be very light on your head. And I will share some anecdotes as we go forward. Okay. Okay, so maybe I should go. So what is an algorithm? Do you know what an algorithm is? You don't know what an algorithm is? Have you ever made tea? Oh, but okay, you are from India. How will you make tea ever? Mommy doesn't let you go in the kitchen. Okay. Have you ever tied the shoes? Do you know how to make a knot? Knot of the tie, or all those are algorithms, no? There's a prescribed way of doing something. So anything which is very formal, very prescribed way of doing anything is an algorithm, right? So that is what we're going to talk about, is an algorithm. Okay, so let's see, I think. So let us think, how do computers actually think about things? Okay. So example, do you see? These are numbers in some boxes and cells. They are called arrays, if you know computer science. If not, then they are boxes. And we have to find out which box holds the smallest number, right? So how will computer do? It will inspect box by box, do some arithmetic operations, and based on that, come up with some conclusion. Okay, so for example, here, it will start with the first box, and it will store what he has seen. Smallest so far, he has seen 14. And what is the ID of that box that stores the smallest? This is the 1. Okay, so let's think that they start from 1. You are right. Many of the programs actually allow you to start from 0. You're completely correct. But I'm a mathematician, so I start, okay, let's call the first place 1. But you're very correct. You could also start from 0. All well? Thank you. Okay, so I move ahead and I check, is the current number smaller than what I'm storing? Right? No. 6. So then what will I do? I have seen a smallest so far is 6. I will update it. Right? Okay. So 25, no changes. 54, no changes. 16, no changes. 2, we should change, you know? Right? And I also change the box that stores the number 2. Okay? And then hopefully no changes happen. Right? So this is what is called an algorithm. So it's a procedure that goes, does something. And how does computers think? Computers looks at each boxes, compares with something, does some operations at each boxes, and makes some decisions. Right? So this is how computers think, and this is what computer can do the work. All right? Okay. So now, let's see. Computers are very fast, you know, but are they really too fast? Let's think about it. You know how much operations they can do per second? Do you know how much number is this? I don't know, million, billion. Then how much it is? Huh? 10 crore operations. I mean, you're right. Maybe now the computers have become slightly faster, but not very fast. Okay, it's like roughly 10 to the power 6. So it's like 10 crore operations per second. Very fast, no? What did you say? 10 to the power 8. Oh, 10 to the power 8? Okay. Then it is 10 to the power 8. Nah, in this talk, no more constantly many. Please, no more order 1. I don't want to scare my children. Right? So he's right. So, but basically what I want to tell you that this is big number. Okay. But I will show to you how small this number is. Am I right? This 10 to the power 8? Does anybody who can not agree with him? Okay, so everybody agrees. Fine. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to find how tall is the tallest person in Chennai, right? So I could have this array where I will put people's height in this and let this machine go through it. How much time do you think? How many? There are like roughly, okay, I think this has low battery. It's okay. Maybe we can change the battery if we have one. I think it has a low battery, but like. Okay, so how many people are there in Chennai? Roughly 2.5 million, which is like 25 lakh people. Yeah, 25 lakh, correct. This is what I remember checking from the wiki. Correct? So how much time it will take? So if you do some maths, it will take you 0.05 seconds to tell you the tallest person in the Chennai. Right? Fun, no? And what do you think about? And how tall is the tallest person in the world? What do you think is the world's population? Huh? So when I checked last, it was this. When I made this slide some time back, this was doesn't matter. All I'm trying to tell you, it will take 76 seconds. Do you understand the scale? The fastest computer, the fastest machine on this planet with the current rate of operation might take roughly 76 seconds to find the tallest person in the world. Right? Is it too fast? You still think it's fast? Do you realize how fast they run? Do you know who is the fastest runner in the world? Right. How much time does it take? To complete his 100-meter dash, how much seconds he takes? Less than 9.5 something. Right? Yeah. I will tell you an algorithm which will take you 7.6. That's also not enough. Okay? In a minute. Okay. So all I'm trying to tell you, there are two questions that I would like to address today. So that you understood what I wanted to tell you is that how algorithms works, how is their way of thinking. The two questions that I would like to address today is what do we want the computers to do? Okay? And secondly, how should the computer do this? Right? So is this an elephant? Very good. Is this also an elephant? Is this also an elephant? Yes or no? Poor computer. What should it return? Poor computer. What should it return? The lion. Elephant. It's a picture of an elephant. Right? It's a paper. It's like a what do you call it? Animation of an elephant. Is it well-phrased question to the computers? No. Poor computer. I mean, all I'm trying to tell you is that problem is that you want the computers to solve some well-stated problem. An elephant is an example of problem for which it's not well explained, right? I mean, whether it is an image, whether it is this, whether it is that. But when we're trying to find the tallest person in the world, that was a well-defined question. But this is not a well-defined question. So at least in today's talk, I would always consider a well-defined problem. not like this. Okay? So what is an algorithms and complexity? So this what brings us to the world of what is called algorithms and complexity. Okay? So what do we want the computers to do? Today we will only talk about well-defined questions. Like, let's say, basically there is no ambiguity in what you want computers to do. Okay? This is what I mean by well-defined question. Okay, for example, how many teeth you have? That's a well-defined question. Because it's you, it will take your mouth, count all the teeth and tell us. What's your name? What's your name? Arrow. Barrow. Okay. So my computer, I can write a program or which takes a human and counts the number of teeth. That's a well-defined question. Right? Okay. So we will only talk about these kind of questions for which if you give it input, there's a well-defined answer that the computers are expected to do. Is it okay? Barrow? Okay. And how should computers do this? That's important question to understand. Like, so first we have addressed what kind of questions computer can do. And the next question that we are going to do, how will we do? Okay? Okay. Let's see, where are we? And secondly, is it even possible that computer can do all the tasks that you ask him? Right? So this is what I mean by limits, right? What computers are possible to do and what computers can't do. I will tell you all. You know what is this called? These are called graphs. Do you see? Or this is network. So basically, there are some nodes and I have put some line. For example, let's make a network in this room. For example, let's make a network. Okay? So for example, I could have a network where I will write down all of you people, name, and if you and you have known earlier, before coming to the stems, then I will put an edge. That just notes relation between you and him, and what relation? That these two people were friends before coming to the stems 2024. Right? So this is how you make networks or program. You have anything interesting to discuss with us? Then please share. I have no problem. Else, listen. Okay? Right? So this is what I mean by graphs. Okay? Any question? Right? So graph is an object or way to represent or draw structured, paired structure between. For example, people can also have, this is like knowledge, friendship, collaborators, friends, family. You can think of object, and there are also relations which are unidirections. For example, you're a principal. Does everybody in the school knows the principal? Yes. But does principal knows everybody? Oh, really? Your school has just two people, no? You and your friend. Huh? Your principal had a great memory. Yeah, that can happen. I'm not saying that cannot happen, but generally, so all I'm trying to tell you that graphs can represent all kind of relationships. Sometimes these relationships are mutual. Sometimes it is unidirectional because of this. So this allows you to model a lot of things. So that is an object called graphs, which is a key object to model, draw relationship between individuals or between objects. Okay, but I have a very simple puzzle for you to solve. The puzzle is, I want to color these vertices red or blue such that all edges have different colored endpoints. Before I came to this, I asked my 6-year son to do this puzzle, and he did it. So it's a valid puzzle. Because you are a class 8th grade and ever, you should be able to do this puzzle. You understood the puzzle? So I want to color these guys either red or blue. With the what is the constraint? You cannot have and two join it like with one both being red or both being blue. Do you like my game? If you come to my talk tomorrow, I will tell you more games. Are they here? Are they here tomorrow? No, you should bring them in the evening to Saket Saurabh. It's a great place. I'm serious. Because they're a class 8 to 12 student, it will be just ask someone to arrange a cab, take him there. It's not very far. It's near IMSC. It's in Anna Library. And there are still lots of places left. So it will be a good evening outing for these kids. I mean, just a suggestion. Okay? Because all the talks are for popular audience, so which means that they should be able to follow. Okay? Yes. That's knowledge. How will I do? I told you, right? Will a 6-year-old child know odd cycle? Right. So you all are correct. Excellent. So first, I know whatever it is, some vertex I have to start, give it some color. So let's start that I give it a red color. Right? And then what? Once you have given the red color, what color should these 3 vertex get? The color these 2 guys get. Blue. Because I can't give them red, because then there will be red, red, which is not allowed in the game. Okay. So, excellent. I gave them blue. Now, what will these guys? This guy is going to get red. This guy is also going to get red. And this guy is going to get red. Excellent. So let's color it. All good? Propagate, propagate, propagate. Done. Right? Look, any network you get, any network, if you do this propagation, it will give you a valid way of coloring. Ah, okay. But does it always work? Let's see. Again, let's try on this graph. Ah, yes. Tell me, will it work here? Let's try the same strategy. Okay, what's your name? Sanjana. You are in which class? 10. Why do you think it's not going to work here? Okay. You also know the without loss of generality. That's too much. You're too advanced. But you're perfectly right. Your valid reason will get there. Okay? Okay, so I try the same policy which we were trying before. Flood it. Flood it or propagate it with the colors as and when comes. Done? Right? Now, what happened? Last, so the algorithm or the ideas that we did before, so now you can ask 2 questions, right? What 2 questions will you ask? See, what will happen when you grow older? Phone is a bad thing to have in a talk. Okay? So these are like, when you come to learn something, just be there for some time. I mean, Facebook, it can wait. Okay? So there are 2 things that you can ask yourself. Maybe the procedure that I applied was not right, or maybe this graph cannot be colored with 2 colors, right? There's absolutely not, for example, I'll give you a very good example, at least this is what Sanjana was talking about, is that, look boss, look at this simple graph. Is it possible that you can color with 2 colors? Absolutely not possible, no? So it's not that for every graph as an input, our 2 coloring game will succeed. But we would like to say that either it succeeded, and when it does not succeed, it should say, well, I'm not being the fool. It's just that this graph itself cannot be colored using 2 colors. Is it okay? Okay. So now let's look at what Sanjana was saying some time back. So because of this edge, it is a failure. Now if I remove everything and just focus on this 5-length cycle, is it ever possible, right? And unfortunately, it also happens that this is the only region these graphs are not two-colored. So there's nothing about, so I drew 3 cycle, you said it cannot be colored with 2 colors. You got an example of 5 cycle. What about 7, 9, 11, 13? So what's a common theme? Odd number. So if my puzzle has an odd length cycle, I should not hope to get this. And you can also show conversely, if it does not have any odd length cycle, your graph will be two-colored. Okay, so anyway, that's not where we will go, but you get the point, right? Okay, so all of you agree that this graph was not two-colored. Okay, but if I would have given you 3 color, can you color this? Can you color this with 3 colors? Very good. So let's play 3 coloring game, no? Okay. So what we have been talking about, this is what is called an algorithm. So we gave a step-by-step procedure to do something, and not a logarithm. My grandmother, I would say, beta, what you do? I will tell her algorithm, 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 and she will tell मेरा लड़का तो logarithm करता है, अरे ले. It's a true thing. She always used to say, oh, logarithm karta hai, because at least that she has heard several times, but the algorithm, and even if she said algorithm, who is going to understand what his grandchild does? So no success anyway. Okay. So it's not a logarithm. Okay. Okay. Very good. It always outputs correct answer, right? And uses time linear in the size of the graph. Okay, now what do you mean by linear in the size of the graph? Okay, so basically means like it takes amount of time which is or takes proportional to the number of nodes and edges in the graph. Okay, and you double that, right? Yes. Oh, there are many. So you know what linear is? Wow. What class are you in? I don't know who needs to learn from home. Which class are you? 6th? 8th? Huh? So which class are you in? 8th or 7th? Oh, you're homeschool. So say that. Okay, so you have no class. That's very dangerous. The child may know everything and may not know anything about social science for all that you know. Okay. Either way. So what I mean is that when you say linear, it just means that you double the size, you double the time that algorithm will take. Okay? Right? Mostly. Right? I mean, it's not that you are forced to take that much amount of time. Maybe on some inputs, you're fast, quick, you could do something interesting. Okay. I want to do a 3 coloring puzzle. Okay? So you want to color vertices red, blue, or green such that all the edges have different colored endpoints. Right? Same game, but now I have not 2 colors, but 3 colors. All well? Let's try. Okay, so I started with red, as one of the friends said, doesn't matter, start somewhere, the guy needs to some color. Let's start with red, my favorite color. Now, you had a choice here, either to give blue or green. I just chose blue. Here again, I had a choice between blue and green. I chose green, right? So you notice that when I was giving a color here, I had a choice. I know that I cannot give this vertex or node red color because one of the endpoint is red, but I have a choice that I could give blue or green. Am I right? Okay. What's so funny, man? Too fast. Why don't you come and give a talk here? I will not mind this, but you are right. We'll see why. Look, you are like a Nostradamus. You're able to see things so much in the future. कहाँ से पकड़ के लाया है इसको? Okay, good. I like your spirit. Again here, I had a choice, right? Between blue and the red. I chose red. But now does it have a choice? No, right? So let's give it color blue. Now does it have a choice? Green. Okay, forget about this side. Again, they have a choices. But here, here, let's see. Here I just gave red. I could have given also green. But once I gave red, I could have chosen. I have no choice. I get green. I get blue. Here I have no choice. So I have to give red. What happens to this curve? Huh? Yellow is not on the color list at this point of time, right? I made this very, it took me time to find a coloring which will not work. Okay, and I will tell you why in a minute, okay? So you realize that this cannot be colored anymore, right? Because I cannot give it a red color, I cannot give it a blue color, I cannot give it a green color, right? So does it mean that this graph cannot be colored with three colors, or we were wrong? We were wrong. Excellent. Okay, so let's try second attempt. I started with red and blue. Actually, you can pick up an edge, give any two colors and start, because that wouldn't matter much. But now I had a choice here between green and red. So I will choose blue. Sorry, I gave blue. And then I arbitrarily decided to give this guy red. So the third guy gets fixed, gets green, that gets blue, right? Then I gave red, again, green, blue. Now I have a done. Red, and I can give it, right? So this is a success. Okay. So we backtracked, saw one of the possibility that we chose. See what happens if we set it differently, right? And see the effect later. Okay, boss. So recoloring, we had to make a decision and see the effect of the decision much later, right? When we were doing this coloring, we had to make decision. And what was the decision? Do I use green or red? And we decided to choose one of this color. And we saw the effect of these choices that we made much, much later, right? Okay. Right? One was a right choice, the other was wrong. So it's like, let's see. Choose. Study maths or play cricket? Depends. After a long time you study maths, like me, you say, ooh, maths sucks. Should have studied computer science, and then you change. I'm happy that no my maths profs are there, otherwise they would kill me. Okay? But that's a fact. I read maths, and at the sixth semester I realized it's too much of a pure maths for me. I should have studied something else before, but CMI gave a great opportunity to me to take other subjects in my master's, so I chose computer science, and I'm very happy. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you make a decision and you see its effect much, much later, okay? So that is what. Maybe you play cricket. It's not that easy to play cricket and be successful, okay? There's only 11 people, okay, now there's IPL or BPL, QPL, RPL, ZPL, whatever PL, and there's still a good pool of people who can earn money by playing cricket. But still, that is much, much less compared to people who can study maths and make their life and career. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that path is fun, but to be able to be successful is much more difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible. It just requires different challenges, right? But if you become Sarfaraz and you suddenly win a cap, so you're a success. You know who Sarfaraz Khan is? You know who? Huh? You know, who is he? He won the, like he got the first, he has been making lots and lots of runs in Ranji Trophy and not getting an opportunity. He go, sir, I'm not this thing. You're right, but he got an opportunity. So all I'm trying to tell you, successes in this field, I mean, it's possible that you choose this. I wanted to play cricket and ball fast because I used to think that India does not have fast bowlers for all that. In my days, they were not. Like their fast bowlers were as fast as Kumble, who ball from here. It's a fact. Like Kumble will ball around 100 something, and this Venkatesh Prasad will come from long and he will ball some 120. What's the point? Okay, but life had a different desire. I also like maths, so now say choose toys, right? So what I'm trying to tell you by this anecdotes that you make some of these decisions as early in your childhood or this, and you see its effect when we are young, middle-aged men, right? So sometimes what choices we make could determine where we end up, just like those algorithms. One choice led us to successful three coloring, other choice led us to an unsuccessful three coloring. Okay? This is what I told you. My talk is going to be science and anecdotes. Okay, so candidate H or candidate T, now we're going to choose twice. And if you choose candidate T, you have to choose between nuclear war or environmental disaster. It's not nice. Do you agree? It's not too nice either. Right? So when you have to make two decisions, you make a first decision, and when you reach to the second decision, both could lead to a failure. This is what I'm trying to point it out, right? So you make one wrong decision, and then you reach a place where either of the decisions you make, it could lead to a wrong answer. Okay? All right, we would have chosen H, and maybe we would have ended up a stage where football or cricket, and maybe both would have led to the success. You understand my point? So all I'm saying that when you have to make two decisions, you make one decision, and then after some time, either of decision that you have in front cannot lead to success or cannot lead to three coloring. In one, you make one decision, and after that, every choice you make, lucky guy, you are successful, right? So all I'm trying to tell you that many more decisions you make, you see its effect even much, much, much later. Okay, good. So for three coloring, we had to make many decisions. For the first vertex, I had a choice. Either I can take red color or a blue or green. And then for the second vertex, you had the similarly red choice, blue choice, or green choice, so on and so forth, right? So how many choices? There are, if there are n vertex, first vertex had three choices, second vertex had three choices. So there were 3 power n different colorings to try, not one or two. 3 to the power n different colorings to try and check with the graph is three colorable, right? Only then can we decide whether this graph has a three coloring or not. So we try all possible ways of coloring it in three colors, which are 3 to the power n because of this. And only if we fail in all the 3 power n, we can be sure that this graph is not three coloring. Am I right? Okay. All good? Okay, so where does it lead to? Let's see. How bad is this? So, okay, how bad is it? So there's two coloring and there's a three coloring. And n is the number of vertices. Okay? And what is the running time? One takes just n times, other takes 3 power n. Forget big O, like all those, forget. Suppose this is the running time. So I gave you 10 vertex graph, 20 vertex puzzle, 30 vertex puzzle, 1000 vertex, and here, he's very good at it. How much it is? How much it is? Huh? 10 raised to the power 8. Which a computer can do that much operation in 1 second. You know how much time it will take for two coloring? 10 nanoseconds. 20 nanoseconds, 30 nanoseconds, 10 microseconds, 1 second. That's your speed. 600 microseconds, 34 microseconds, or 34 seconds, 1 day. For 30 nodes, we already have reached 1 day. What do you think for 1,000 will be? Time? Dead. Right? Fun, no? I mean, 1,000 also, 1,000. It's not a big number, no? Already this algorithm says, say, no, we don't know how to handle it. So computer can well just say how many nodes are there and say, forget it, I can't solve it. Try something else in life. No, it doesn't need to crash. So it just counts and tells that I will crash. So don't try it also. Why? You can do something else. No, you can play games. Why want to make your computer crash? Okay, all good. So maybe you can think that maybe we all were just not smart people. So maybe we can come up with a procedure which is smarter. Possible? And there was a smarter person. His name was Epstein. In 2000, he said that, haha, okay, so here's one exercise for you. Huh? So can you come up with an algorithm, smarter algorithm, that does n times 2 power n? Even less. It's just 2 power n. Tell me. Right. Because when you go in a connected way, fashion, you already have colored someone. So if you're looking for an edge which is adjacent, one choice is already made. So you have at most two choices for that. That leads to 2 power n. Huh? Bad. But this guy is very smart. He came up with 1.33 to the power n operation. So you give him any n vertex graph. With these many operations, he can tell you whether the graph is 3 colorable or not. So he is not even looking at all possible these 2 power n color. He must be doing something way more smarter than we are trying to explain. Am I right? Okay. Don't worry, I'm not going to teach you this algorithm. Well beyond the scope of the class. Running time again, but now I have this extra algorithm, which is fast algorithm. 160 nanoseconds, 3 microseconds. 1 day has come down to 41 microseconds. Great. So we have speed up, but not too much. Right? Okay. So let's ask ourselves, lessons learned. What lessons we learn? The function of running time is an important thing. It matters. So you should think about how fast your program is, how efficient your program is, right? It matters. And exponential in n is very, very slow. And it's still an open problem. There exists an algorithm for 3 coloring that uses how many operations? Let's say 100 n operations, we don't know. 100 n square operations, we don't know. 100 n to the power 100 operations, we still don't know. So what are 2 possible explanations? What do you think? Right? What do you think there could be 2 possible explanations that this 3 coloring takes so much time? What do you think? Oh, then you are talking about lower bounds. This is too much. No. No fast algorithm for 3 coloring found so far. You are right. No one has been smart enough. Or it just doesn't exist. Right? It just doesn't exist. And what will we like to believe? Do you have some ego in life? Do you have ego? What do you like to believe? That you're not smarter, or it just doesn't exist? It doesn't exist. Like, I mean, yes. What do you want to do with planar graph? You know, planar graph we can color with how many colors? Do you know the proof of four coloring theorem? No, it's computer assisted. You know, actually today before coming, I actually had another talk. Now that you people are talking, and I decided not to give that talk. Okay, I made two talks. One talk was, no, don't worry, I will not kill you like that. This guy is like too much. This is called don't do this at home. Okay, so there's a talk called don't do this at home. Okay, so the talk which I'm not giving to you. Have you know how to do bisect and angle? It's impossible. Don't even try. These are probably impossible puzzles. You have no 3n plus 1 problem? Huh? See, this you have got some very smart people. See, Collat's conjecture. But I was going to teach you random walks. No. This guy proved a partial result. This was my talk, which I decided not to give you. See? I'm a smart guy. Where did I do? There I was talking about four color theorem. And I was planning to give them a six color theorem proof. Maybe, maybe I'll do that last. Huh? What? But it requires proof, which they can't do. Okay. I'm not saying this sentence anymore. Yeah. Okay, okay. Let's come back. Okay. Who? Who proved six color theorem? What? I don't know. Maybe we can talk after the talk. Okay. So this is what we like to believe, that it doesn't exist. But here's my vacuum cleaner example. Okay. So what is a vacuum cleaner? So suppose you're working in a company and your boss is not very happy with you. He tells you, go. I want you to make this vacuum with these set of specifications. Okay. Now what you do, you poor person, think about it. And this is what you have to make. Okay. And then he can't solve it, so he goes to, who is he? Sheldon, smart person, right? He also thinks for a lot of time. And he says, I can't make your vacuum cleaner. But he knew even smarter friend. Do you agree? The guy was smart. So he goes to Einstein. Einstein says, yes. Who? Yeah. Oh, Sheldon has a time machine. Imagine that we are living in the world where everybody is still alive. Do you know? You don't know. I'm telling you a story from which era, and you also don't know when did Seldom live. Oh, right, right. Okay, let's believe that this is not Selden. It's a Selden tin, some other name. Okay. So I'm going to make you a time machine. You were so much happy to make a time machine. So let's make a time machine. You said no that you want two time machines. We'll make time machine for you. So, not coincident. He wants to really make time machines. We'll make time machines. So Einstein thinks for a lot of time and says, look, boss, I don't know how to make your vacuum cleaner, but if you could make this vacuum cleaner, then I can make a time machine. I can make a, what is this? Unicorn bunny. Or I can do cold fusion. Or I can travel faster than the time. Right? So, what should be inferred from here? Like, if you're a pessimist, what should you think? It's not possible. And if you're optimist, let's put all our resources and try to make this vacuum cleaner. I mean, up to you where you are. Okay? So this is what he almost, so these are the three people. I think this is Carp, this is Cook, and this is Levin. Okay? So these people told basically that, look, if you have a fast algorithm for three coloring, then actually you can do these things. Amazing, no? What? Metaphorically, man, metaphorically. These are kids. You can't even get invited. Okay, I will tell you what actually they said. I promised you to tell that much at least. Well, no, they said, what is three coloring? Can you verify the solutions? If I told you that, hey, here is a three coloring, can you verify it that it is a valid three coloring? Yes, just check whether the red, blue, or red, green, or green, blue violation has happened, right? We can check that quite quickly. Okay. So, can efficiently check whether a proposed solution is correct or not. It's easier to verify whether a solution is correct than it is to find one. Do you agree? You know, when I became teacher for the first time, I never used to give people difficult assignment. You know why? Because I have to solve it. It's only after some 6 months I realized, hey, I don't have to solve it. I only have to check it. It's correct or not. You didn't get my point? Look, I gave you a homework assignment. Do I need to know how to solve it? Why? I can tell you some other thing which you will not even understand. Say, yeah, this is related to that. You go home. Do you think I've just grown up like this without knowing how to get from this? All I'm trying to tell you that when I'm looking at your assignments, you are actually providing me a witness to whether something is correct or not correct. And that is always much easier to point out or check compared to coming up with a solution. Right? That is the sense in which we should take this statement. Okay? So it is always easier to verify than this. Okay? Do you agree? Right? All we have to do is STEMS grading is even very easy. I'll tell you what you have to do for STEMS grading. Take a pen, and you know what to do? What is it? There's nothing to correct anyway. Is it not right? I correct my just entrance examination. I have to correct one question. There has been years when I have not found a single correct answer. So I'm willing to give someone non-zero marks and I have not been able to award. Like, give me some inspiration. So, okay, either way. Okay, so what does fast three coloring prove? These people prove that if you have fast algorithms for three coloring, then every problem, all computational problem that can one check solution for quickly can also be solved quickly, right? So all the problems for which you can verify the solution correct quickly can also be solved quickly. It's a very big statement to make. You understand my point? No. Yes, sir. You have something to share? What's your name? Huh? Abel. Wow. You know, Abel theorem? Okay. You're from? Bangalore. You are in class 11th? 9th. Everybody is surprising me. We were so dumb at their age. Okay? So there are lots of problems for which verifying is much more easier than finding. For example, factoring. Do you know how to factor it? But if you have to verify it, it's easy, no? You know how to multiply them. You can multiply them, these numbers, and check. Right? Sudoku. Making is difficult, but if I fill up every entry, then you can check, right? Whether 129 is in this cube, 129 in this, 129 in this, right? Easy to check, because easy to apply those rules. And this is not relevant only to this, like lot of, like some chips, some airlines, this, that, some shipping container, like how to place them properly. All these places, verifying is way more easier than finding the route or solution, okay? So all I'm trying to tell you that this idea of verifying something compared to finding is ubiquitous in all around us, okay? So when they say this, that all computational problem that one can check solution, not only that, they said, forget about recoloring is not an exception. Fast algorithm for long list of problems, there's a long list of problems. If you can get fast algorithm for any one of these problems, you can get a fast algorithm for all the computational problems that one can check solution for quickly can also be solved quickly, okay? So basically we are reaching to a situation where we are saying that, well, there is some inherent similarity between these problems. We do not know how to handle them carefully or so, but there is a long list of problems that they behave, they fall or rise together. And this is what is P versus NP. Question? How many zeros? Huh? $1 million question. So if you solve it, I will give you one extra zero. Okay. So this is a world of computational problems. Problems that can be solved efficiently, like two coloring, right? Problems for which a solution can be checked efficiently. This is what is called, if one of these has fast solution, then they all do, like three coloring, right? Anything out here? Or the world is only this much? Well, yes, there are something here. This is factoring. So factoring is somewhere here. Huh? I'll tell you where it is. So factoring is a problem that can be solved efficiently, but not on a traditional computer, but on a quantum computer. Okay? So they can be as, factoring can be done as quickly as say two coloring, but on a quantum computer, not on a traditional. It may be, we may be able to do this on traditional computer, but at this point of time, we do not know whether we can do this on traditional computer or not. Okay? Any question? And there are also some things where you can throw dice and then make some decisions. There are also algorithms of that nature. So the algorithm that we talked about, so for example, when we are at some stage and we have to choose between red and blue, we throw a coin. If it comes head, I could choose red. If it comes tails, I could choose green, for example. So there are algorithms of that nature also. This is called coin tossing algorithms. Okay? So there is something which is encompasses everything, but it requires the dice to be able to solve your problem. Okay. What? We don't know. We don't need to know anything here. I mean, of course, we don't know anything here. Just the belief. Okay. Okay. So we don't know if anything is here or not, right? Yes. Ah. A problem which can be solved efficiently on. Hmm. As far as I know, we do not know any such problems yet. It may be that the capacity of quantum computers is same as capacity of traditional computers. That can be solved. We shouldn't, Okay, maybe. So we don't know this, that anything is here or not. Okay. So I'm not cheating. Don't worry. Okay. I don't want to use BPP, but like there are problems. We know how to solve it with help of some random coin tosses. We don't know how to solve it in a traditional way, but that doesn't mean that these problems cannot be solved in the traditional sense. It's just that we don't know at this stage of our knowledge. Okay? Huh? They're kids. Okay? So what are quantum computers? Look, I have written half a page because I know nothing about quantum computers. So I have to tell what quantum computers are. Okay? See, this is a very popular sci-fi topic. So I thought that I should tell you some. Okay? This is a very health hazard warning. I know nothing about quantum physics. I know nothing about physics. That was the right word, but I thought for emphasis, I should say, I know nothing about quantum physics. CMI did not teach me physics. Not my fault. So this I can blame it on CMI. No. Maybe they had in the last semester, but I fought hard that you can't grade me for physics because you told me in the beginning that there will be no physics courses. This is why I came to CMI. What is this? I actually fought, and they agreed to that. So we had one physics course in the last semester of our undergrads, but that was in some sense optional. But we had to attend. Bad luck. Or maybe good luck. Okay. So here's a photon. So here's some, what is that called? This is like, okay, so this is a photon gun that shoots one photon at a time. And this is a splitter that lets 50% of time photon pass through it, and 50% of time it just goes to the top mirror. Like it bends it by 90 degrees. Is it fine? Right? So this is a splitter which allows 50% of time photon to pass, and 50% time it turns this photon 90 degrees on this path. Okay? So if you put up some sensor just after here and one here, you will should see 50% time photon is there and 50% time photon is here. Okay? Is it true or not? Right? So you know what I'm saying, right? So if I put up a, say, detector here and detector here, you should, like, what is that called? I mean, you should be, like 50% time you should believe that photon should be here and 50% time the photon is here. That's what you will think about it, no? Given the fact that photons are like 50% time goes up and 50% time it passes on, right? It makes sense. But that's not how quantum computer behaves. Okay, this is just wrong. Okay, this is what I thought. Okay. Okay. So even after this After you put up the second thing, actually in experiments, 90% of the time, photon will be seen on the top detectors, not on this. That's experiment. So you set up these things, and 90% time you will see photon being detected on the top, not here. Okay, I don't know why. I have no idea, son. Yes, what you're saying? So the way it works is that, at least if you ask physicists, so photon is like a unit vector. Yes. See, there's a first line written, no? Right. I know nothing about physics, son. Oh, here. These are called splitters. So they can let it pass through themselves, or they can, these mirrors are, their job is to reflect. That's it. Okay. But these are splitters. So sometimes it will split the photons on the top path, and sometimes it will let path. And that happens with 50%, 50% time. But still, now you look at the detectors here, in experiment, most of the times you will see them here. Okay, don't ask me why. Some explanation is that these photons are like a unit vector, and these are like some rotation vectors, and the way they behave is very different than how we are. I was so scared of putting this slide, but I had to. Okay. Anyway, I'm going ahead. I know nothing about this slide. Okay. So basically, the photon is both on path 1 and path 2 simultaneously. Yes. You had a question. Okay. Even if you had a question, I will. Are there physics faculty here? Who is giving talk? Okay. Ask Prabha that this guy came from the. So these are like quantum choices. It appears that, it's a quantum object, is like this choice is the first vertex, second vertex, third vertex. It is simultaneously doing, right? It's doing something simultaneously. Very, very misleading, no? This is not how quantum actually works. So quantum choices is somewhat less misleading. Like they're like this weird soup of solutions. Okay, it's a fact. I mean, this is what. Look, this is very limited knowledge I have. I'm trying to communicate to you something. Okay. Okay. So what happens is that okay, so you don't make all choices at once. Okay. You make a weird quantum soup of all the choices at once, and then you need to pick out from the soup the ingredients that corresponds to correct choices. Okay. So this is the best I can explain to you. Okay. Is it this is like a weird mixture of all the solutions, and you pick up ingredients that could lead to right answer. That basically what it means is that you could be at the same place at the same time, several places at the same time. Don't ask me more than this. I have no clue. Okay, but this fact that a particle or that computation can happen at the same time at several places can be exploited algorithmically, and people have exploited it. Okay, so this is what is called quantum factoring. This is showed, and he showed that on quantum machine you can factor numbers very efficiently, but quantum computers almost don't exist yet. I mean, there are attempts to make it, but still we are in very early stages of the world of quantum computers. Okay, good. Ah, okay. If you want to know more about quantum, go to this person called Scott Aronson. Hopefully, he will not listen to my talk. So this guy is so moron. He knows nothing about quantum computers. Why is he talking about? Okay, but he's the right person to go and look at his blogs and talks, everything about quantum computers. It's great. Okay, and he's one of the best speakers I have ever heard. So if you have opportunity, ask him to talk in your stems next time. Oh, great. Yeah, I saw it. He forwarded me. Okay. So, yes. This I understand. Your brain can do it. This even our machines can do it. I only have 5 minutes more left to entertain you. Okay. So let me tell you something called algorithms with dice. So if we give the algorithm dice and let it fail 1 out of 2 to the power 100 times, can we solve more? You understand my question? So I give the power of dice. I'm okay if it fails, but it should succeed most of the time. And by most, I mean out of 2 to the power 100 times, it should fail at most once. Right? So these are the kind of algorithms we are interested in. So these are the kind of algorithms which might fail, but the number of times it will fail is something which is very low. But this is as good as one computer which solves everything, right? If this can do things much more faster at, and can capture more set of problems, then this is a good algorithm to have, right? So what does algorithm takes with dice versus without dice? It takes an input, it outputs an answer. But now this algorithm dice, so throws dice, and suppose he got this sequence of output of it dice, okay? And right? And then, so now a randomized algorithm takes a sequence of dice and input, and based on that, it returns an answer. But it is correct that many percentage of time, and it is wrong that many percentage. Okay? So this is how the algorithms, dice algorithms look like, right? So not only they have some input, they also have sequence of random bets, or what they call random coin tosses, which you have done. And based on that, it makes a decision, but it could be right or it could be wrong. Wrong, but very less time, it is wrong. Okay? It's like finding hay in a haystack, you know? So this is how good it is. So we don't know anything, but we know things which we are able to do at this point of time with this dice algorithms, but we do not know how to do some of these things without dice yet efficiently. So here are some concluding thoughts, okay? You know, optimizing things are ubiquitous, okay? But unfortunately, most problems are what they call hard or NP hard, the problems that we have been talking about, which basically means that no algorithm can solve all instances of these problems optimally in polynomial amount of time. So people learn to cope with hardness. So people restrict the kind of instances they want to answer, okay? And then all kind of people learn to do something called approximation. It's like, okay, I can't solve fully, but can I get some approximate solution? Maybe not polynomial time. If I give you slightly more time, can you do this? So people have moved on to cope up with these kind of difficulties by either relaxing the idea of that we can solve it optimally, or by relaxing the idea of we can solve it in this much amount of time. Okay. So at this point of time, we don't know much more than we know. So thanks. Questions? Suit. You don't have any question. It was that bad. Do you have any comment? Feedback? Okay, no problem. Oh, oh, wow. I'm so happy. I mean, I have to believe something is correct, huh? Everybody needs some positive validation. Yes. No, We just don't know. But this is the best we have now. Like trying to come up with a lower bound, we are still, as he was saying some time back, we are very far off from that domain or that world. Yeah. I make lots of good exponential algorithms. That's what I do for a living. Because they solve all the polynomial times. So I thought, okay, someone has to try those exponential things. Okay, if you don't have any questions, then I'm still here for some 15, 20 minutes. Hey, do you have some tea? Okay, great. Then let's meet over tea. You're welcome. Hmm? No? Okay. Yeah. Oh, what?